you're joined with 5 gentlemen as we continue to celebrate Menstrual Hygiene Management Month. Tomorrow being the 28th, when is Menstrual Hygiene Day. Today we are having the He for She talk show, which aims at giving a platform to boys and men to advocate and be agents of change. So our guests here will be able to tell us how they support their female counterparts or relatives and friends during that time. So I'll let them introduce themselves. My name is Maureen. I'm a YES volunteer participant from Kenya to Zambia. So we'll start from here.
Okay. My name is Manasseh. I am here as a husband to someone that experiences menstrual periods.
Okay, thank you.
So my name is Nathaniel, and I'm here to support, to show support for the menstruation and how girls handle their menstrual flow. Yes.
My name is Gift. I'm here to stand in as a classmate on how I should support my female friend in their period states.
My name is Lukundo. I'm here to show or to give an insight on menstrual health from the perspective of the brother and the son.
Thank you. My name is Mubamba. I'm here in the role of a father, and of course, as my colleagues have said, to see and discuss how support is offered to my daughter within the family and other girls within the household.
Okay, thank you for being here all. So we'll start with the classmates' gifts. So maybe you can let us know, how can male students help create a more supportive and stigma-free school environment for their female counterparts?
Firstly, female sometimes they feel insecure because they feel like people mostly don't care about how they feel. So in a way that I can support her is by letting her know that she's free to express herself, and I'm there for her if she needs any help in anything that she wants.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Lukundo, as a brother, growing up, did you ever find yourself having to support your mother on menstruation-related issues?
Not really.
Okay. Is it because she never actually needed your help, or was it because it's a taboo for a son to talk about periods with his mother, or is there any other reason?
I think traditional values really set a barrier between both genders when it comes to such things. It's not something that I only learned. It's something that I only learned about when I got to secondary school. It's not something that I really learned from the household. So when it came to that and my role in helping my mother with that, I think I had the minimum, if no role at all, when it came to menstrual health, to her menstrual health.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And as a brother, give us a scenario where you've had to support your sisters on period-related issues.
As a brother, it's a bit different because not only am I a brother, I'm an older brother. So when it came to helping my sister with such, I would go as far as escorting her, or there would be some situations where I would actually get her pads and stuff.
Mm-hmm. So
I would say I was more involved as a brother than I was as a son.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Muvamba, do you ever have any conversations about menstruation with your daughters? If yes, what kind of conversations do you have? If no, why not?
Thank you. The answer to that is a yes and no. The yes part of it is that whatever information relating to menstrual activities around my daughter, I get to know in real time what is going on, and whatever challenges she has, I get to know. But in our African scenario, it is not, I wouldn't say allowed, it is not kind of right for me to directly engage with her. I get that information through the mother. I get the information through the other people around, the other females. In our culture, it's she's that process is supposed to be managed by her auntie, especially on the mother's side, or even on my side. My sister can attend to those issues. The grandmother, unfortunately, she lost her grandmother quite early, so the mother has taken that role. So I'm trying to say that I do know the information, and when there is need to provide the products, because she's in that situation, I'm able to do that. I get the information through the mother. If there are other complications that would require that she's exempted, maybe in extreme cases that she can't go to school because of period pains or other such related issues, she can't do chores, that information gets to me so that I do not wonder why she's been in bed all day, why there's this issue, that issue. So I would say I'm involved, but not direct. It's rare to have a conversation direct with her concerning those issues. They are considered to be private with her, and it's mainly dealt with among the female folk within the family, or beyond if you cannot find one within your family.
Okay, thank you for that. Mr. Manasseh, as a husband, how has being married changed your understanding of menstrual health?
Of course, with marriage, the whole perspective changes, because it kind of like becomes first hand, because this is your wife, someone you're with throughout, and everything is in the open. So once you get married, the perspective completely shifts from being something that you can look at from a distance to something that you need to be very much actively involved in. Because it also has to do with fertility issues. So it completely changes, because the discussion needs to be raw as it is, and nothing needs to be hidden, because it affects stuff to do with family planning, and also this is someone you are spending time with through and through. So you need to have a full understanding of exactly what is going on with this person, so that you are able to, of course, attend to their needs, and also be able to just help them through the process. So the perspective is completely different, and for me, it's helped me gain an in-depth knowledge about the whole cycle. So I do have full understanding in terms of as a husband.
Okay, thank you for that. Nathaniel, what does being a supportive male friend to a lady look like when it comes to menstrual health?
Well, the first thing I would say is that I value friendship more than anything. And looking at the perspective of a lady is that I need to put her needs before mine. Because when a woman is going under menstruation, it means that as a friend, I'm supposed to be there for her consistently. Because periods are something that that female people experience. They experience drowsiness, tiredness. So it is my duty as a male friend to be a supportive friend to my female friend. Yes.
Okay, thank you for that. Gift, your second question. What would you do if you randomly see a female classmate who has accidentally soiled her uniform?
So firstly, when I see that she's accidentally stained her uniform, I would quietly approach her and just take her outside to make it more private to others, so that no one knows about it. Because mostly girls, they get irritated when such things happen, where everyone knows about it. So the way to avoid her getting upset, it's by taking her outside with someone else. And then I openly tell her to say, oh, your uniform is stained. That's what I wanted to tell you. And then after that, if I can be in any help, secondly, I should take her to someone who she can be comfortable with, like a teacher or the health room or anyone who she's comfortable in. And then third, if I can be at any help, I can also help her provide the stuff that she needs. Since it's a school thing, we're in school, I'm unable to provide the parts for her. So I can just give her my jersey or anything that I have on me to cover that part so that she can, for that period, she can find a way to clean up herself.
Okay.
Yes.
That's very kind of you. Okay, Lukundo, as a brother, if you didn't have the opportunity to support your sisters, you said you were able to support your sister.
Yeah.
But would you say it's a taboo for you as a brother to talk to your sister about menstruation the way Mr. Muvamba said it's sort of like a taboo?
Yeah, I mean, society views it as such, yes, but when it comes to it being a taboo, it's more impractical as it is a taboo. And it's something that this is like, as much as it's menstrual health, it's also just health in general. And health is like an issue of public interest. It's something that everyone has to be involved in for it to be dealt with, for it to be sustained. So in as much as it is a taboo, like the way society is, it can change and it would change, and that type of change would be change for the better. So I think in as much as it is a taboo,
You try to help your sister.
I would try to help my sister, make her feel comfortable, let her know that I'm not just a boy who she should like hide that information from, but I'm also her brother. Maybe knowing such information would like help me carry sanitary things when I know I'm going out with her to like maybe run some chores and stuff, to just help me facilitate such. Because if I have a flu, she would give me a hanky, that type of thing. I feel like it's almost at the same level when it comes to like, it should be treated more as an inconvenience more than it is treated as a gender barrier. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. Mr. Muvamba, how can fathers of daughters help break stereotypes and cultural taboos around menstruation, starting with their core families, their own daughters and girls in their care?
From the background, I did mention that there are traditions around the whole subject. What that causes is a system is in place to ensure that those issues, like I mentioned, come through what we would call third parties or fourth parties. But I want to agree with him on the aspect of the practical side of it. Much as that is expected to be respected, and us other ones are inclined to ensure that that culture goes on, the practical side of it may not allow that. Because imagine in a situation where the mother is not there, the aunt is not there, the grandmother is not there, and she's having challenges. It would be unjust within the house. The means are there to procure the products she needs. She needs to take time off her chores if it is extreme. And I am there, the brother is there, and she cannot express that, and she suffers a lot of stress as a result. So we should reach a point where she's able to approach the other, especially father and brother, to say, this is my situation, I'll need your help, and I'm sure we would be able to help. So much as culture is important, there are certain aspects that make it more difficult for her to come out, make it more difficult for the father to help, and other relatives as well. So what I would do practically is to open dialogue. Yes, because even over this issue, she just came up straight and said, these are the issues, and this is what is going on. So I think the role, my role, the father's role, would be to create that dialogue. One of them is I have meetings with them, one-on-one. It's in its infancy, but we have to meet and talk one-on-one so that their issues are brought to the father's attention. Sometimes without the mother, sometimes with the mother. But the idea is to have an open environment so that such issues, especially the part of them being inconvenienced when help is within the house. That's the part where tradition does not help us a lot. We could find a way in which we can make that possible for them to come out and be helped.
Thank you for that.
And just to add on to what Mr. Mambas has pointed out, menstrual health is looked at from different aspects when it comes to the Western culture and the African culture. So in the African culture, we still have a lot of work to do in terms of educating us, the young men, about how we should look at menstrual health. Growing up, we're always told to stay away, basically, and to leave it to the women. So with this modern world now, where information is on our fingertips with our phones and everything, I think that is shifting a little bit. But of course, like he mentioned, to say more needs to be done in terms of creating safe spaces, because even the women or the girls themselves, it's very difficult for them just to open up about that. Especially a situation of, let's say, a young lady stains herself while she's in class. This is something that would be looked at in a very bad way, you know. So, of course, safe spaces have to be created in schools where such discussions can be had openly between the male and the female children. That way, as these are growing up, those cultural barriers that are there can be broken over time. But it's something that, of course, would take some time, because people also want to preserve certain cultural aspects. So it starts with such discussions.
I totally agree. Mama as well. In what ways can husbands provide emotional and practical support to their wives during this time?
Okay, in terms of practical support, it's little things as making sure my wife has the things she needs in terms of making sure the pads are always there when she needs them. Also making sure I step in because periods sometimes can be extreme. So I make sure I step in if it's trying to do a bit of chores here and there, running around with the kids and all those things. It also comes with, from what we know, with periods come with emotional swings. So always important as a husband to be supportive, to be able to listen to what my wife needs, and make sure emotional support, make sure everything is provided for, very, very key.
Thank you. Nathaniel, how will you respond if a female friend had a period emergency, e.g. you see her dress soiled while you were together?
Right. So as my colleague said, the most important thing that you need to do is be supportive throughout. Because in a situation whereby my friend stained herself, I'll just get her aside. First of all, make her feel like she's safe, not make her feel embarrassed, because it's not by her, it's not according to her that she's experiencing that, because it's part of womanhood that she's going through that. So what I would do is I'll get her aside, encourage her, and say, oh, look at this and this and this. And after that, I would help her out in terms in whatever terms I can, because as I said earlier on, menstrual flow, it's a time whereby girls have mood swings and they get tired fast and usually have cramps. So I wouldn't just abandon her, because she depends on me, because in times of trouble she was also there for me. So it's also a must for me to be there for her. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. So those are all the questions I have for you today. In case anyone has anything to add, let's close up.
Perhaps I can add the scenario you have given actually happened in real life in our school days way back. And I think the fortunate thing was that they were in co-education, boys and girls. Unfortunately, it was the older girls who noticed first. So we didn't have the problem of what we were going to do. But at that time, and even now, it's not an easy thing for me as a school child like Nathaniel and Gift to walk up to a girl and say, this is what is happening. Maybe sometimes practically you would go through a friend whom you relate with. In the case of Gift, because she's not your best friend, she's just one of the girls in class. So you go to another whom you get along with and say, let's check that issue. Yes.
Alright, so those are all the questions we had for you today.
When it comes to when it comes to menstrual education, I feel it's also important to us as young men being able to know how the menstrual cycle works would actually even be able to prevent things like early pregnancies. So I feel it's a very important topic that is usually ignored because of the cultural barriers. So it's something that from what I've noticed, just being directly involved with a lot of NGOs, is something that is slowly picking up pace in terms of making sure the young men out there understand menstrual health very well. The other aspect as well needs to come through empowering the young girls to be able to be confident enough to speak about these things. Because the more they keep quiet about these things, the more that the barriers stay on. So in terms of the young men, I think we really need to take that interest, just on our own, and be there for the women. I think that's what I have to say.
Okay. Also, in light of what you've said, maybe this Valo, you can tell us like how you saying that men also need to be educated around this topic. Have you found yourself maybe, since you're now closer to your sons, talking to them about menstruation and about that topic?
From what we have discussed here, it is very important that the male folk also get to understand much earlier than we got to learn about these things. And the reason is that they should be able to be available to support our women folk during that time. But it has to be admitted that it's not an easy thing. It's easier with the boys in terms of maybe talking about menstrual health, but there is an aspect of sex education with them as well. But you find that like to like is easier to discuss. So with them, with what we are coming to now in terms of being more supportive, I think that's the idea of this project, so that men folk are able to support our women folk. More needs to be done to prepare our boys to be able to support the women folk, and it should start with their sisters. We should not involve them with their mothers unless it's an emergency and there is no other male. I believe that it is the role of Mr. Manasseh there and myself as a husband to get the details of the menstrual cycle for your wife, who is the mother to the children. Yes, culture there does not allow, and in the meantime, I think it should go on like that. A mother-son is a different scenario. They can relate with the girl child. I've seen it happen. They can share their the products they use, that is fine. They can work together to get enough stock. They say it's the two of us, let's do this. But Hassan, I think deliberately, they should not be involved at that level. Because in Africa, it also has some level of respect. If you know too much, it is deemed that respect is going to go down. All those issues. So there are certain aspects we should maintain. But in terms of preparing male folk to be ready to support our women, I think we should start a little bit early.
Okay. Then lastly, maybe Gift, you can tell us if in school maybe your teachers take you through this topic, or do they seclude only the girls and talk to them about it?
So can you come back to the question again?
So like how we're talking about that also male counterparts need to be involved in this conversation of menstrual hygiene and all that. So in your school, when they talk about periods and all that, do they only talk to the girls about it, or do the teachers also talk to the young boys about it?
They do talk to both genders, but when they're talking to us boys, they just tell us to say, be supportive when it comes to your sister. Whenever they're going through such a situation, just be there to support them, but not that close. And then when they talk to girls, mostly they just tell them to say, as a girl, you need to understand your sister's pain, because you also go through that at a certain period. So when they're talking to girls, they also tell them to say, in terms of an incident that happens in class, make sure that it's private and no one gets to know about it, unless if it's a female teacher, you approach them or the health room and then you inform them to make it more private and more safe. Because most girls, they don't feel safe around, in schools there are a lot of different people, and when it comes to such things, girls mostly they get mocked, loved. So to avoid that, you have to make it private and make it look normal for her to feel calm, so that she can be calm in everything that she does, and so that she can feel safe as well. Because if you make it open to everyone, she'll panic or she'll start crying, and then maybe she might even leave school without her being treated properly. So as a supportive friend, although I'm a classmate, but I'm not supposed to be that close to her. Like he said, my father here, he said that as much as I'm a classmate, it shouldn't be that I should follow her directly and tell her we're just classmates, but we're not that good friends. So what I should do, I should go to someone she knows, someone she talks to, someone she's open to, and then I tell that person, say, go and help your sister to make it more safe and supportive as a classmate.
Okay, thank you for that. So, as I said earlier in the beginning, that tomorrow we're celebrating Menstrual Hygiene Day, which always happens on every 28th of May every year. So, even on this day, take the time, encourage the female counterparts around you, that you're there to support them, you're there for emotional support, practical support. Yeah. Thank you all for coming, and thank you for engaging with us.
Welcome. Thank you for having us.